Welcome, everybody. With the devastating impact of last year's wildfire season fresh in our minds when Colorado experienced the three largest wildfires in the history of our state, one not too far from where we are here in Fort Collins, we knew there would be a long road back. And just a few weeks ago, Secretary of Agriculture Vilsack joined Senator Bennett and Congressman Neguse and I, many Larimer County leaders, visiting the burn scar and also visiting and learning about some of the watersheds that were impacted by the Cameron Peak fire. And scorched landscapes, losing vegetation, pose major risks to water resources with downstream communities, water contamination. It increases risk of flooding. And I'm grateful that working with Representative Kipp, who's joining us today, Representative Catlin, Senator Danielson, and Senator Simpson, they were able to put together this very important bill that funds $20 million for the Colorado Water Conservation Board Construction Fund to protect watersheds against the impact from wildfires. Because mitigating the impact of wildfires in our state, protecting our watersheds is absolutely critical. And I want to thank the sponsors of the bill, Representative Kipp, also the county and community leaders affected by last year's wildfire season, the water districts, really across the entire state for their collaboration in passing this critical legislation. And I'll turn it over to Representative Kipp, the lead sponsor.
Thank you so much, everybody, for being here today. This is really exciting, and actually, not to disagree with the governor, but I believe we got $30 million actually in the end, because what happened is we weren't sure how quickly we could get the money out the door, but there were enough grants received and grant applications received to an existing program, and we were able to use an existing program to get the money out there, that we found that we could actually utilize that much money, because the whole idea is to get those watersheds taken care of as quickly as possible so that we don't have that degradation. So this is really exciting. I'm actually very fortunate to have been put on this bill as our Mayor Jenny Arndt, and she's at a city council meeting tonight, or I'm sure she would be here, as this was originally her bill before she left the legislature to enjoy becoming our new mayor, which we're really excited about. So I'm going to turn it over to Dan Gibbs, who is with the Department of Natural Resources.
Thank you, Representative Kipp, for your leadership, and thank you, Governor, for your leadership as well. It's extraordinary to see $30 million come to the Colorado Water Conservation Board this year that will really work with local communities like here in Larimer County on critical watershed recovery. Governor, I think it was a few weeks ago we toured some of the burn scar area here, and we saw Chambers Lake. And when you look at the aftermath of wildfires and what that does to water quality and quantity, it's extraordinary to say the least. A lot of people want to look at putting all the efforts on, fighting the fire and also mitigation, which is also very important. But just imagine if you have a bucket of sand and you want to try to put that down your bathtub sink, and just imagine what that does to your piping system. Well, that's what, after the fact of wildfires, that's what it does to the water systems in local communities. So this money will really go a long way in helping the recovery, helping communities form what's called catchment basins where appropriate. And really, again, appreciate the leadership of Governor Polis and Representative Kipp on this really important bill. Thanks.
Thank you, and we'll sign the bill. Here we go. Official, it's the law of Colorado. Thank you for joining us. This is a very exciting bill. This is really a big show. Okay. We are joined by very special guests for our next bill as well. Lieutenant Governor Diane Primavera is with us. We also have Dean Williams from Department of Corrections, Dan Gibbs from Department of Natural Resources. I want to thank Representative Snyder, Representative Hanks, the local senator, I think we're in her district, Senator Janal, we're in her district here, and Senator Rankin, Western Colorado, for this bill, which transfers about $30 million for additional staffing for wildlife mitigation efforts. And you know, we all in Colorado got to experience in some form the wildfires. For many, not too far from where we are here now, it meant evacuations. Some didn't even have homes to go back to. For others, it was very poor air quality for weeks and months on end. And it was a very challenging year. This bill provides us a surge of funding to address the key hurdles in wildfire mitigation. It's money, it's manpower, it's taking the steps necessary ahead of time to avoid the next major wildfire. Also initiating a valuable partnership with the U.S. Forest Service to identify and prioritize mitigation that we can have the greatest impact on reducing the risk of wildfires with these investments. This effort is a statewide approach to wildfires. Very proud of the work of our Executive Director of the Department of Natural Resources, who himself is a wildland firefighter, Dan Gibbs, in helping to craft this proposal. It's a product that speaks to the forward-looking and innovative way that we get things done here in Colorado. And I do want to thank the bill sponsors, Representative Snyder, Representative Hanks, Senator Janal, Senator Rankin. This bill will have long-term, tangible benefits for all of Colorado, for the health of our landscapes, for the safety and security of our communities and residents. I'm proud to turn it over to Colorado's Lieutenant Governor, Diane Primavera.
Well, thank you, Governor, and I'd also like to thank the bill sponsors and wish they were here. I know how hard it is to work on the legislation. I would also, as the Governor did, like to acknowledge the incredible work of Director of Natural Resources, Dan Gibbs. His leadership was essential to bringing this legislation to fruition. Throughout last year's devastating wildfire season, our beautiful Colorado sky was covered in haze and smoke settled over our state. It was really hard to escape, and it didn't matter where you lived, you couldn't escape it. But today, we take an important step toward keeping the next fire season from being as destructive. Making these investments and strengthening our wildfire mitigation efforts now could help save someone's home or even their life down the road. Not to mention the support it provides to the brave men and women who are on the ground fighting these fires. The more we can do now to support prevention, the more effective they become. Additionally, this legislation supports workforce development and the engagement of our AmeriCorps Conservation Corps members that serve across our state. And I'd like to acknowledge the director of Serve Colorado, right here, John Kelly. I'll embarrass him, he's just amazing. So the additional mitigation projects supported by this legislation will help train these Corps members to become future wildland firefighters or forest managers. Serve Colorado, which manages AmeriCorps in the state of Colorado, is housed in my office, as I said, and therefore I've witnessed firsthand the amazing things that national service and volunteerism provide to our communities, from combating learning loss to responding to a global pandemic, and yes, to mitigating wildland fires. AmeriCorps members end their pledge by stating that, quote, "I'm an AmeriCorps member and I will get things done," end of quote. And I'm proud that this legislation will help our AmeriCorps members fulfill their pledge, allowing them to continue to get things done for the state of Colorado. Building on the success of Colorado's existing mitigation efforts, this legislation will make our state a better place for our people, our land, and our environment. And now I think I hand it over to, is Dan, are you speaking, or is that it?
Yeah, thank you so much, Governor Polis, Lieutenant Governor Primavera, the bill sponsors, and the partners too that are here too. The Department of Public Safety, the Colorado State Forest Service, Mike Lester. By the way, what, 2 more weeks on the job and then you're retiring? 4? Okay. But thank you for your longtime service to Colorado. Serve Colorado, of course, John Kelly. Thank you for your leadership. Colorado Youth Corps. Department of Corrections, Dean Williams, thank you so much for making this bill a reality. Senate Bill 258, the Wildfire Mitigation Stimulus Bill, delivers on the Colorado Recovery's commitment to protect communities, create jobs, including jobs in Colorado's rural communities, by investing $25 million in targeted wildfire risk mitigation, recovery, and workforce development. The bill does four major things. It does an assessment statewide to really look at the most critical locations in the state with limited resources where we can get the most bang out of the buck. It expands workforce capacity to complete wildfire emission mitigation projects. Adding capacity, we're expanding, quadrupling Dean Williams's crew within the SWIFT crew, the corrections crew, also adding capacity with youth corps and conservation corps, mobilizing wildfire risk mitigation projects, and then also supporting long-term development of the forest industry. So as we all know, it's close to 100 degrees. Fire season's already upon us, but we are one lightning strike, one unattended campfire, another drought season away from Colorado's next mega fire. And I really feel like in my heart that we are recognizing that the status quo is just not working in Colorado and that we need to do things differently. So Governor, thank you so much for your leadership of recognizing that we're going to put a lot more emphasis on mitigation, but also work with all of our partners to get things done. Thank you. And I recognize you.
Good evening. My name is Courtney Martinez. I'm Representative Snyder's legislative aide. He regrets not being able to be here this evening. He had another event in Colorado Springs. He just really wanted to thank the governor, his co-sponsors, for really making sure that the bill that he remarks is one of the biggest bills that he sponsored this session got signed. So thank you to everybody. As the mayor of Manitou Springs, he helped his community recover from the Wild Oak Canyon fire in 2012, and he can attest to the fact that wildfire mitigation can help not only prevent wildfires, but also devastating floods, the erosion of the environment, and just continue to keep Colorado beautiful. So thank you again, Governor, and thank you this evening.
And thanks to our host, Poudre Fire District. Is that the correct name? What's that? Poudre Fire Authority, which is a special district, right? Here in mostly unincorporated Larimer County, or and City of Fort Collins, which they're our hosts here today. And I want to thank all the firefighters who are here today. Thank you for your heroism, your work, not just on the wildfires, which draw our attention today, but we all know the everyday life-saving work you do, health-related, house fire-related. Really all of the work that you do that saves lives every day here in Larimer County. So I want to just convey on behalf of the state of Colorado how grateful we are for your work. So thank you, and we'll sign the bill.
Do you want, actually, we should bring some of the firefighters over if you want.
Yeah.
You want to come?
Firefighters would like to join us?
There's a rule normally, if firefighters are caught in a picture and it goes on paper, they have to buy a beer.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for your work.
Come on in, get in there.
Ready? No, you're good. It's official. Fire mitigation. Congratulations. I can give this to Representative Snyder. Please give Mark my